coaching. All right, so when it comes to capitalizing on the vitamins and minerals that you want to absorb, look, the more that I learn about cellular nutrition, the more that it excites me. And probably because I used to be someone that had so many issues with an imbalance of hormones. So if you feel like that's you as well, then you really want to capitalize on maximum amount of nutrients that you can absorb. So today I'm going to give you 4 things that you can do to increase that absorption and maximize on the amount of vitamins and minerals that you get from your food, because I'm pretty sure that it's common knowledge that when it comes to our soil, that we're deficient in a lot of things, and when it comes to whether we should buy organic or whether we should buy typical from the supermarket, not organic. I think there's a lot of mixed messages out there, so I really want to create some clarity around that for you today. So when it comes to buying organic, maybe I'll save that for another day because it's quite a big topic in itself. I could probably periscope on that one just alone. But if you're going to choose, it's actually far better. There's not as many guidelines as what you think to buying organic. It's actually far better to just buy locally grown. Okay, so that's the first thing. If you can, buy locally grown. So if there's a local farm or a local farmer's market, and I suppose if you're listening from New Zealand, then that's one of the things that we're really fortunate to have more readily available to us, is to be able to go to farmers markets. They're at it's so readily available to be able to do that. And the reason why is because within 72 hours of plucking from the vine or from a branch, you're taking it from its nutrient source. All right, when you do that, you actually lose up to 60% of your vitamins within 72 hours. Okay, so when you buy from a farmer's market, you want to try and consume those vegetables within 72 hours, because once you've plucked from the vine or from the branch, you lose up to 60% of the nutrients of the vitamins coming from that. All right, so when it comes to nutrients, local is definitely king. Okay, number 2, soak, chop, crush, and blend. All right, those are, let me repeat that: soak, chop, crush, and blend. So basically, when you do these things to certain veggies and fruit, it helps to break down the sometimes rigid plant cell walls, all right, which makes those nutrients more readily available to us. So when it comes to cutting up fruits and vegetables, then the best way to do that is to crush and blend. So when you are making smoothies, this is why smoothieing is such a good call. It helps us to absorb these nutrients a lot better. When it comes to chopping, garlic and onion, all right, garlic and onion. I don't know if you've ever wondered this, but when you are crushing or chopping garlic and onion, actually helps to release an enzyme, which is something that is used by our body. All right, it's a compound that's used by our body, which makes us able to fight off sickness and disease. All right, so if you've heard that garlic is good for you in that way, then that's why. So garlic, crushed or chopped. All right, soaking. So I get a lot of people asking me, should I soak? All right, so things like nuts, yeah, but when we're mainly focusing today on your veggies and your fruits, and but I will say that when it comes to soaking, things like nuts and beans and grains, all right, what you want to do is soak these overnight. And the reason why is because it gets rid of a lot of the enzyme inhibitors. So when you do that, it means that we don't, when you don't soak, it means that we don't absorb zinc and iron and calcium and magnesium very well. Okay, so when you soak these grains and these legumes, it helps us to absorb those nutrients a lot better. Okay, so what about storing fruits and veggies? Okay, what about storing them? Well, all vegetables except for the roots, except for the root type of veggies, should be stored in the fridge. Okay, so all of your veggies except for the root variety should be stored in the fridge. All fruits, all right, so all fruits, and this includes avocados and tomatoes, should be stored at room temperature, all right, but away from direct sunlight. Okay, so all fruits should be stored in room temperature away from direct sunlight. Okay, this is with the exception of berries, which should be kept in the fridge. Okay, so berries should be kept in the fridge, but all other fruits, including tomatoes and avocados, should be kept at room temperature and out of direct sunlight. All right, if you chop up fruits and vegetables, okay, so if you chop up fruits and vegetables and you want to store them, then you want to store them in an airtight container. But before you do that, you want to squeeze a bit of lemon juice over them, okay? Because air and when you are cutting them open, it exposes them to oxidization, and when things start to oxidize, they're going to lose their nutrient value, and it's going to get less and less. It's basically just a process of decaying. Okay, so you notice that when you cut open an apple and it starts to brown, the cells of the apple are dying. That's the decay, so you're going to lose nutrient content there. And I see a lot of people just glad wrapping them and chucking them in the fridge, or just chucking them in the fridge on a plate. No, you don't want to do that. If you want to maximize on the nutrients that are in there, then you want to squeeze a bit of lemon juice and keep it in an air-sealed container. All right. And just in case you didn't know, the reason why lemon juice does that, or a lime, you can do it with lime, is because the vitamin C content in it is an antioxidant, so it's going to preserve the fruit or vegetable much longer. Okay, here's a cool one that you may not have known, and that's with herbs. All right, so sometimes what I see is that herbs go in the fridge. All right, but when you put herbs in the fridge, they will start to lose their nutrient value, or if you leave them out on the bench, that's quite common. We used to do that. But one of the things that will actually help preserve the nutrient content is to chop it up and mix it with a little bit of water, and then keep them in an ice tray in your freezer. Okay, so when it comes to herbs, chop up and mix them in a little bit of water and keep them in an ice tray in your freezer. So those are the best ways to store your fruits and veggies. All right, so what about the things that you should eat raw? Right, what about the things that you eat raw? Because if you've wondered, whether you, what about those people that go completely raw? That's pretty hard out. But what about the ones that eat raw? And when I cook my veggies, am I completely killing the nutrient content? So what do you do there? All right, well, it really comes down to certain veggies, right? Certain veggies, when you eat them raw, are actually better, okay? And it's to do with the absorption of your B vitamins. When it comes to heating, it actually gets rid of and destroys, in particularly vitamin C and a few of your B vitamins like B1, B5, and vitamin C. Okay, so I'm going to read you out some of those so that you know. Sunflower seeds, peas, beets, greens. All right, they are better raw. Okay, rather than cooked. So heat definitely destroys those, and they're also going to oxidize the fats in them as well. Your cruciferous vegetables like kale, spinach, Brussels sprouts, all right, they are going to be, and cauliflower would be considered a cruciferous. They're going to be much better to have raw as well. And also capsicums, or maybe in your country you call them bell peppers, they're also better raw. When you have these raw, you will preserve the B vitamins and the vitamin C. So just to give you one example, I tell my clients to blend spinach into their shakes. Okay, so when you're making a smoothie, when you're blending spinach in there, you actually get 3 times more vitamin C from raw spinach than you would when you cook it. Okay, 3 times more. So you really want to make sure that with those kinds of veggies, so your cruciferous or your bitter greens, if you want to make it easier to remember, are much better to have them raw. If you're going to cook them, though, then then the way that you do it is just not too much water and just slightly. Okay, just don't overboil. Right, don't overboil because you'll lose those vitamins. So if you're gonna be prepping these, then microwaving also destroys them. Blanching, sauteing also destroys them. Steaming destroys them as well. So as little as possible is the amount of cooking that you want to be doing with these kinds of vegetables. Okay, so those are the 4 ways that you can get the most nutrients out of your food. when it comes to your hormones, I'm telling you now, if you could see all the biochemical pathways, all the ripple-on effects that happen when your body is getting the exact nutrients that it needs, it is amazing. So, I know that it can get a little bit complicated. Maybe I'll do a periscope another day for the best way to pair these foods. But vitamins and minerals are the micronutrients of our food. And when it comes to micronutrients, these tend to be the ones that we can't touch, as opposed to your macronutrients, which you can touch, like your proteins, your carbohydrates, and fats. We mainly are putting our focus and attention on those. But I know that for New Zealand, we had a campaign going here, which was 5+ a day, and not many people were getting their minimum 3 serves of vegetables a day. Not many people get that. So I really want to try and encourage you and help you get a little bit excited about vegetables, and being able to prep them and store them and get them in the best possible way. So that your body starts doing more of what you want it to do. All right, so that's the message from today. I hope you got some value from that. If you feel like other people would benefit from that too, then from this message as well, then the way that you can share this Periscope is by swiping up or swiping to the right of your screen. And when you do that, it'll give you the option to share to your Periscope followers, or to share through a social media platform like Facebook. If you ever want to reach out to me, the way you can do that is through my website. That's generationhealth.co.nz. I'm going to be launching soon the information for my group coaching. Okay, so if you want to go through our 12-week nutrition education course, and if you want to maximize on some coaching as well, then I'm going to be launching a group coaching group in September. All right, so I'm going to be putting the details out for that on my website within the next week or so, to give you the information to sign up for that. If you have any questions about that, just shoot me through an email, or get me on my website. All right, so that's it for today. That's it for the week. It's almost the weekend, so have a fantastic weekend ahead, and I'll see you next Monday morning at 8 a.m. New Zealand time. Have a fantastic rest of the week.